It's been a while. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. As I told you backstage, I'm dressed as a present today. I'm a
Because
gift.
you're a gift. It's true.
Absolutely.
I love that. It's a fact. Now, look, for those who don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a talent acquisition executive, consultant, subject matter expert. I got to start with the obvious. What the hell is going on in the job market? Like, what is happening?
I can sum it up. I can sum it up in 2 words: chaos and confusion. A lot of that is going around. It's crazy out there, and I know that it sounds like very reductive to say that, and it sounds repetitive to say that, but that's what it is. It's worse than I've ever seen it. You know, I've been in TA for 24 years. I've been through, 9/11 shutdown of government contracts, because that's the industry I was in. I've been through, recessions, and, we all went through 2020 together. I've been through multiple stop work orders and all of those things. Again, being a government contractor, but this is much different. And we said that in the pandemic, but now, well, it's not really post-pandemic, but we're going to call it that because we don't really have a word for it yet. But post-pandemic, right. I think it's even worse, and it's confusing because I think we're still out here trying to be very innovative and trying to be very sexy. I hate when people use that word in HR, but that's what that's what it is. Like, people are trying to be so, we're so forward thinking and all this, but they're actually kind of confused because they don't know how to apply the things that are happening. Because we didn't make any plans. We didn't have any goals. We didn't, we didn't measure. And what we did measure was BS. We measured only in the short term, and we didn't allot for what was going to happen in long term. So from both a TA, meaning people that are going to hire people that are responsible for talent development, your strategy, all of that, chaos, and for the people who are looking for work, confusion and a little chaos there too as well.
It's interesting to your point, right? Like, I remember this was before the pandemic. This was just like, 4 or 5 years ago. I remember talking to people in HR and DEI departments being like, okay, what's your strategy for next year? And like, I think like the loudest secret in like the TA HR experience space is a significant percentage of these leaders do not be building annual strategies for real.
No.
Right? Like, in fact, it takes them a lot of effort just to schedule the meeting to talk about doing that. Right? And so then, yeah, when you compound that lack of strategic planning, that's just kind of low key the default, with a strained market or market pressures that shift the landscape, well, then now there's like chaos on top of like it's a scary season to be in.
It is.
When you say the word chaos though, like, what is it that you think is what is like not the easiest, right? Because things being simple don't make them necessarily easy.
Right.
What's the simplest thing that can like create some clarity right now?
Acknowledging that it's not all good, because I'm a table flipper. I'm from New Jersey, Jersey Girls, Housewives, that word, that other word, like flip the table over. We don't acknowledge it. Like, we're pretending like everything is okay. That meme where the person is working on their computer, everything's burning around them, or the little girl that's swinging on the swings and the building is burning. Like, that's what we're doing right now. We're watching it burn and we're acting like, oh, no, it's fine. Everything's okay. No, it's not. Acknowledge that it's not okay. Yes, unemployment numbers look to be lower, but what is going into that? We're not accounting for the fact that a lot of people have actually left the job market. And they're no longer being counted. We're not looking at the fact that people have multiple jobs that are not allowing them to live in a manner that they would like to. having one job, so multiple gig jobs, accounting part-time workers. We never did that before. People that only had part-time jobs, those numbers were counted separately. Now we pushed everything together, and it created an illusion that things are better. So, last week was Black Women's Equal Pay Day, the day of the year that Black women make the same amount of money as white men did the previous year. Well, traditionally, that was be in August, early September, Now we moved it back to July. Now it's in July now. And you know why? Because the jobs that Black women have, and this is no disrespect, we hold a higher percentage of those part-time jobs. So hospitality jobs, customer service jobs, food service jobs, those type of things that are part-time. And they're counting those now. So it looks like we're making money. It looks like we're catching up. And then, like I said, we're not talking about the people that are no longer counted. Like, I'm not counted. I haven't been counted for years. I work for myself. So if I'm not making a paycheck, they don't care. They're like, congratulations. Do something. Get a job.
You have your own shop. Speaking about you being employed by yourself, you have your own shop called The Trap Recruiter, where you're advising individuals and corporations alike on career search and talent acquisition strategy, respectively. What are you seeing through that lens as it pertains to this talent acquisition space, right? Because you kind of sit on both sides of the aisle.
I do. I want to start with the job seeker first, because I think a lot of times we overlook the job seeker and we only see things through our own lens. The job seekers are frustrated. Job seekers are, you said it earlier, they're scared, and we have to say that there's some scare. They're scared. Jobs are scarce. Okay, we have to say that too. Hiring cycles are so much longer than they need to be because there's a lack of accountability on the hiring side. And folks don't trust hiring teams. They don't trust that jobs are real. I know folks that every day are reporting on jobs alone that are not real jobs, or on interview processes that are completely ridiculous. We can open any social media right now. It's not just Reddit that's giving us the good stuff. Like any platform right now, you're seeing the most ridiculous things. I saw something yesterday where a person was asked for, and they are a professional person, probably mid to senior level, asking them for, and has a professional license, by the way, according to their profile, saying, give me your last 5 job salary. Like, I need to see this before I interview you. Before I interview you, please go to where. Like, that stuff's going on. And then from the hiring side, again, a lack of accountability. The candidate experience still sucks. It's taken a back seat now because we're all strummed up on how to make AI, how to be the first to implement whatever AI that's already implemented, because we already use AI every day in our work lives. But how to be the first to do something and call it AI. And then my favorite, I post about it every day, the pullback on the DEI commitments that folks made in 2020. I don't like to say I told you so, but I'm going to say it, I told you so. We were all excited. People made a couple bags, real quick. You got a lot of speaking engagements. You got a lot of book deals. You got a lot of organizations hiring these vast departments. And guess what? They're going now.
Microsoft just recently cut a DEI team. I'm trying to get more information if it was like the only DEI team or if it was like an extension. I'm still like clicking, trying to figure out.
I couldn't read the full Business Insider article. That one had more information, but the one that is available to us, that's not behind a paywall, kind of alluded to the fact that it is the DEI team, and there was like some kind of whistleblower situation going on where like the head of DEI, who may or may not be one of the ones that was laid off. That wasn't clear, but they're basically like, I can't believe you did this. Like, this is what you've done.
I read that, and it was like after an investigation. I'm gonna see. I don't want to be. See, this is not. I'm not. We're not a messy pop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really try to be a messy dude, But it's actually messy. I mean,
It's
honestly,
not
it's
messy.
really
It's life. Like I said, we're being too
it's
nice.
news.
We're being too nice.
Now look here. Lindsay Ray McIntyre, she's the Chief Diversity Officer, Corporate Vice President
Okay.
of Talent Development at Microsoft. I wonder if she is still there. I don't know. That's interesting. So, no, I agree with you though. Like the rollbacks have been pretty aggressive, and like the bags were there. Like, yes, it's true.
I'm so common. I'm so common sometimes.
No, it's great. So listen, I want to get to the AI piece before we get there though, because you made a point about jobs.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking anecdotally, but then there's also the jobs reports that we can look at and see. More and more I'm seeing jobs that I believe that would have been like full-time exempt roles. Mm-hmm. Now temporary or contract gigs or hourly gigs. So like as an example, I saw it was like somebody said, "Hey, I'm looking to hire a director of DEI," and it was for a healthcare institution.
Don't do it.
And I was like, Oh no, I just saw it on LinkedIn. I said, So I clicked the little link because I know the person, and I was like, oh, you just got the answer, and it was like an hourly job, and I was like, that's odd, right? It was an hourly job. Now it was paying.
Is it a consulting job?
No, it's a director. It's a director role, and so it was paying like $70-something an hour. But I was like, what an interesting way to frame this. You're paying. Why would you be paying somebody?
Because they don't want to pay benefits. They don't want to see them as an employee.
And so, it leads me to believe that like without some radical shift or regulatory policy change, that the future of the workforce is going to increasingly be people who are, to your point, hourly, contract, seasonal type talent, right? And I also believe that because of the way that like companies continue to structure themselves and their goals, which are not these multi-year goals anymore. It's like, right? It's like, hey, we got this moonshot we're trying to achieve in the next year or the next year and a half or the next 6 months, that people are going to rush the workforce to kind of hire against those moonshots. Mm-hmm. And then, if they meet those moonshots, then you continue the next one. If they don't, then you get laid off. And I also think that folks are going to have to hold, to your point earlier, they are going to have to hold multiple jobs just to kind of take care of themselves. Like, I think it's going to be like this really like gig based, more like increasingly gig based type work. So like before, where it was like, oh, Uber Eats and DoorDash or whatever. I think that type of working where it's like everybody's their own little business. Their own little LLC. I think that's like the future of work. Do you think I'm being hyperbolic?
No, I don't. And I also don't think that that's necessarily a terrible thing, depending on the industry. When my parents were coming up, they're boomers. Mm-hmm. If I came to them and said I was consultant, they're like, you're unemployed. Because back then, consultant meant you didn't have a job. That was a word you used when you were not really sure what you were doing with your life, or you were between roles. Mm-hmm. And again, you say it's real talk. It's not Tuesday, but it's real talk, Is there a lot of incentive for folks to stay at organizations for 20, 30 years, even 10 years now? Is there really a lot of incentive? No. We don't have enough organizations that still have pensions. Your 401k, they keep pushing back how much they're going to match, and then how long you got to be there before they don't match. So, is there really a lot of incentive to give your life to these organizations? Depends. Again, so I would say industry wise, it probably does make sense for people who are highly skilled. And I'm not going to pretend that these are roles that don't require skill, because even the person who is working the register, the person that's working the forklift, that is a skilled role. Okay. That is not unskilled labor. And we need to stop calling it that. Okay. So that person can learn something at that one job and take it to the next job. And there's nothing wrong with that, and get more money per hour, and then move on to the next thing, move up in the organization, move to a different role, get more access to opportunities. So I don't really have a problem with it. And I think that there needs to be a shift in our mindsets as well from a talent acquisition perspective. There's still some folks that are holding on to job hopping as a thing. There's no such thing.
That's so crazy to me that we still talking about job hopping when you see what's happening out there.
You want to talk about something? Let's talk about job losing. What's the right word for that? For the company that got to keep hiring that same person over and over
y'all
again.
Can't keep,
what we
y'all
call
can't
that?
Keep people.
Right.
Can't keep a man. I mean, can't keep an employee. Like, what are you talking about?
Correct.
So no,
let's talk about it.
No, I definitely believe that. Like, look, I like to think I'm a fairly enterprising type person. So I like the idea of, hey, I'm gonna charge you X. I'll handle my own stuff. But like when life gets more complex, you have children, things of that nature.
Sorry.
The way things are set up, it's hard, yo. Like,
yeah.
Like I'll say, like for living corporate, like, like we have our own insurance. Like as an entrepreneur, like having my own insurance is more expensive, right? Than me necessarily having to like work through. But what's so crazy, like not even get too depressing, is insurance is low key getting worse too. So low key, like that line between the company provided insurance and your own insurance, while it's still a line there, it's not as thick as it used to be, sadly. But that's not because personal insurance is better, because it's not. Yeah. It's just to your point, there's been a degradation of benefits. I remember when I was at Target, I think it was like a 4 or 5% match at 100%, and it was immediate vest, something like that.
Yeah.
That was in 2011.
Yes.
I'm confident that is not the case anymore.
Not even for. So this is how they get you too. So you have these organizations, like I've worked for them because like I said, I've worked in government contracting. Now, those of us, what we want to call legacy employees, we have the great benefit packages. And then the newer employees don't necessarily have access to or have the same benefits that we do. So you'll see people that have been with the company for however many years. And then, they got pension plans. They got a whole different retirement plan. They have stock options. And, folks that have been there for 5 years have a little bit less. Folks that have been there for 2 years have a little bit less than that. So, it depends on the organization. But what they do to, attract people is count on those legacy plans that say, hey, this is what we offer. And it's like, oh, no, not you. Sorry, Pooh. But now you already took the job and you're already like, ooh, when I get to 20 years, I get all of this.
Yo, let me tell you, it's like, I think I had a story. I have a mentor who told me a story about how, hey, if you make it to this level and you work this long, you then get a pension.
Ooh.
And your pension is X% of your 3 highest years, blah, 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 blah.
Nice.
But then, to your point, they recently changed that policy. So a bunch of people who were about to get to that level ended up not getting that pension at that. They ended up getting a much smaller, so much smaller that had they been told that at the onset, they probably wouldn't even have taken the job, or they would have left years before trying to pursue something. And like, you think about all the people who did all that tap dancing and just hustling, trying to get to this level, thinking that they were going somewhere, getting something, only at the very last minute, right before you grab the carrot, they pull away. So actually, or my bad, they just take a huge bite out of it and go, here you go. Like, that sucks.
What's that commercial? You got to be quicker than that. Is that a Geico commercial?
It's a Geico when he had the little fishing rod dial on it. Yeah. So you were about AI.
Yeah.
And you said something. You said people, everyone's trying to focus on how to get AI and implement AI, but we use AI all the time. So what do you mean by that? What do you mean by talent acquisition has been using and historically has used AI? What are you talking about? So
your ATS uses AI. Your applicant tracking system absolutely has been using AI. Your CRM is AI. You're putting in, it's telling you, it's ranking candidates for you. It's using technology. It's using AI technology to tell you things, to do things for you. Now, there are some great things, even calendar scheduling, like certain things like, yes, let the computer do that, like let the computer do that. But when it comes to things that require decision making, that require thought, I do think that a human still needs to look at them. Now, did you see I'm not going to call the company out, but did you see that one company that is giving employee records to non-humans? They're the first ones to do this.
No.
And it's an HR company. So yeah, AI, I guess, I don't even know. They're calling them this is another thing. They're calling them non-humans. So this is another employee population. I'm wondering, are they going to be a protected class? Are they going to be a diversity? Like, is this going to go into your diversity numbers? Like, we have 87 non-humans. How many does your company have? They're calling them non-humans. But it's AI. And they're giving them employee records. Yeah.
That is so
unnecessary.
That's
the nicest word. Yeah.
That's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point though, right? I think about the things you're describing and like them being AI. I think this whole season, it kind of reminds me of the NFT boom and bust. It reminds me that the average person do not understand technology. Like fundamentally, They don't understand it. Right? And I didn't realize this until I got into tech, how much of the things that we see out here marketed is like 99% vaporware. It's like not real. It's not actual. It's not doing what it's claiming it's doing. It just looks really nice, but it's some nonsense on the back end. It's some bullshit on the back end. It's not real.
Listen, I don't want a computer read my resume and deciding if I'm the right person, because that's going to bring in a whole lot of discrimination things. Because that computer is going to read they're not going to see Kiersten and think they're going to think I'm Swedish or something.
Right.
But they're going to see say Rashad, Ladarian, Keisha. They're going to see those names and think that they're, maybe not as qualified as the young man who changed his name to, what did he change his name to? Now I forgot.
Something really white, and he popped up in there like, yeah, y'all on that. I'm
the same resume. Y'all. I love that for him. Yeah, I hope he gets all the money.
I hope he gets every dollar. That was awesome. But I think like so many people when they think about generative AI or AI, they think of like this. They think of like Jarvis in the Iron Man suit. They think of this.
Yeah, it's not though, because remember Ask Jeeves? Like we've always had that.
Type in something and then
a
get
Google search.
Back.
Like come on, a Google search.
When I went to ChatGPT the first time, I was like, oh, okay. Like I immediately was like, oh, okay, this is like if somebody took Google, stripped out, and like just went into all the sites for me, organized it, and then gave it to me. Yeah. So I was like, if that's accurate, if this is accurate, this is like a really efficient Google. That's how I thought about it. I don't think about something that's thinking for me or making complex decisions. Excuse me. And even a recent analysis by like market leaders was like, hey, generative AI is expensive. It doesn't solve complex problems. It's getting more expensive. It's an energy drain. It's hard, but people are going to continue to invest in it. So we're going to keep on doing this until the bubble pops. Right. And like, that's really what it is. I mean, the fact that McDonald's had to take down that ordering system because the AI couldn't handle the McFlurry and the double cheeseburger.
Yeah.
That should let you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's true. It's not an ad for McDonald's, by the way. But yeah.
Unless they're going to sponsor your show.
I don't know. They got some stuff going on. I don't know. Respectfully, I don't know. I don't know, Kiersten. I had to turn away somebody wanted to be on the pod last summer, and they work at a
A
huge
company.
weapons manufacturing company. And I said, hey, you can't come.
Been there.
You just can't be here. But no, I think like there's this work. I think generative AI, and I've had this conversation now several times, right? Like on the pod and certainly off the pod, is I think generative AI has a place, right? I think it can be role enriching.
Yes.
I think it can help. It can help drive efficiencies and do fairly tedious or mundane tasks. I mean, like look, like Living Corporate, we built our own AI engine, right? We built it for our own stuff. Like the learning platform we built, we took our podcast library and we said, hey, we need someone to we need something that can organize all these transcripts and make a lexicon form, like make a taxonomy to where we label all of these conversations. And then we need to then summarize each of these podcasts and turn them into e-learning modules. Okay, well, our AI can do that. Now, do we just trust it off top? No, we have to still review it.
Right.
But it helps to do something repeatable at scale very quickly.
Yeah, but it also will learn.
And it also will learn.
The more that you do it. Yes.
It'll learn. So like and it's called like so anyway, that's another conversation another day. The point is that I'm not anti AI.
I'm not anti.
But it's just that it has to be placed in its proper context. I think the proper context, use the words you don't like, the proper context of this tech is just much less sexy than right. Like it just is, but I think that's okay. I also think though, Kiersten, I think people like being lied to. I do. I think people like in general, like not just in tech. I mean, just in just think people like being. I think people like the spectacle of.
Ooh. You're using all these words that are just you're hitting all the targets.
I do. I think people like being lied to. People like being lied to in relationships. I think as long as the lie feels good, I think people like it.
Does it though? Does it really feel good?
Oh, I don't know. I don't like being lied to.
Okay.
You know,
maybe that's why it don't feel good to me either because I don't like being lied to. But when I look out in the market and I'm looking at this stuff, I'm like, y'all know that's not the way that works. Like this is not. What's the Terminator AI? What's the name of that Terminator? I thought that was the Terminator's name. Was the Terminator?
No, Kiersten.
I'm not. I don't like sci-fi movies.
That was your era. To you, Gen X, you should know.
Okay. The best AI is Gem.
Who?
Gem is truly outrageous. A girl band. Truly, truly, truly outrageous.
Oh wow! Truly, truly, truly outrageous. I forgot.
The music's contagious, outrageous. Gem is my name. Sorry.
That's a good. No, that was a good callback. That was good. That was a good one.
Yeah.
How come Max? I can't look. I really want to. Anyway, the point is that AI, like, that's just not what it is. And honestly, like, so much of what we think is AI is just like, it's just conditional formatting. Mm-hmm. If you do this, then this.
This. Yeah.
That's all it is. And so, anywho, obviously,
it's an enhancement, like you said. It should enhance it. We need to think about it as an enhancement and not a replacement. Because I think that our mindset is replacement. Now, it's replace tasks.
Yes.
Not people.
Right.
Enhance people's roles.
Exactly. 1,000%. Right. It's role enhancing, not role replacing. I think AI is. I think at its most generous, right? Like at its most advanced, mm-hmm. AI should be treated like a really smart college intern, right? You give it something really simple and repetitive to do. It'll learn a little bit over time.
Okay.
You review it. And then that's it. You going to trust your college intern to put a presentation together for the CEO? No.
Yes. 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 A presentation? Put it together? Yes, absolutely.
Oh, you saying literally, yes.
Literally, yes. That was
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, no, sure. Put the initial slides together, yes. But like, do you expect your intern to
Design.
right to design but do you expect your intern to speak on behalf of the organization? No, right?
No.
Like, but at the same time, they might be able to provide a first pass at a deck or something
Correct.
else. And I think that's where we got to put AI. But we're in this like ever increasing capitalist cycle where it's like we're just like this like I guess it's just the stage of capitalism we're in where things are speeding up so fast. Like we're like the speed of production is so outpaced need, and it's been like that now for the past several decades, of course. But like I don't know, people talking about we can use AI to make these movies and stuff. I'm like, this looks terrible. Toys R Us made a commercial using AI. It was terrifying. I'm like, what
Is
is
Toys R
going?
Us back? Toys R Us isn't back, is it?
They
They're
back,
back?
yeah.
Oh,
Back.
wow.
Yeah,
I
back.
didn't know that.
They out here playing. Okay, now look, we're about to wrap it up.
Okay.
You sit down and you advise executives all the time. What 3 points of advice would you give to CPOs right now trying to maximize their talent strategy?
Only 3. All right.
Boil it down.
Make sure your goals and your metrics are aligned. Invest in your future workforce. Recruit and onboard better. I think there are a multitude of things that could fall under each of those, since you only gave me 3.
Maybe we can come back and you talk about it a little further. Look, it's been a dope conversation. Before we let you go, where can people learn more about you, your work? Where can people follow you? Like, give me all of that.
Everywhere on social media at Trap Recruiter. And that's it. Yeah.
Kiersten, it's been a phenomenal conversation. I appreciate you every time we connect, both on the mic and off. Let's talk soon, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Peace.